Hi guys. Whew, I'm out of breath because today I am starting to get ready to put up our Christmas decorations. So far I've put all of the fall decorations away, Halloween decorations away, and I currently have emptied all of the shelves that I usually put decorations on. So those are all right now over on our island. And yeah, so basically everything's ready to go. Now it's just time to start putting up the decorations, but I'm just taking a little breather for a minute because I am out of breath. I think the dryer, I was washing some of our rags and stuff in there, so like that we clean with, and they're in the dryer and I think they're almost done. So I figured before I get completely in to putting up the decorations, I'll wait for those to come out of the dryer. So while I'm waiting, I thought I would come on and do an update video because it's been a long time since I posted a video. I really hadn't realized just how long it's been until I was looking at my channel the other day and I'm like, oh my god, like it's been over a week, I think, since I posted a video. And so basically the reasons is it's been a crazy week, the last week especially. And I know a lot of you guys have also commented, like I got someone asking why I don't do many changing videos anymore, where I'm just like changing a baby and chatting. I've had people asking, where's Sing With Me Friday? I've had people asking, are you okay? What's going on? Where's the videos? So I first off want to say, like, for anyone that has checked in on me to see if I'm okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So, okay, there's like so much, and I don't want this video to be like massively long or anything, but I have a lot to update you guys on. So first and foremost, I haven't been doing Sing With Me Fridays because I've been battling a cold for the last few weeks. I think the day that I filmed my shopping trip with Paula and Marilyn when we went to Vaughan Mills, which was a few weeks ago now, I think when I uploaded it, it had already been a week after we had done that. So like even back then things were crazy and busy, and I just didn't get a chance to edit and upload that until like a week later. So I don't know when that was I uploaded that. It may have been 2 weeks ago now. So it's probably been about 3 weeks or so since it's probably been like 3 or 4 Fridays, I'm thinking, since I've done a Sing With Me Friday. And it's just because I've been battling a cold. It's not like a super bad cold, but it's really weird because like it's mostly affecting my throat. And it's like it'll start to get better and then it comes back. And so I've just been dealing with like a really like dry sore throat. We've got our humidifier out now going because I thought it was like the dryness of the winter air and all that, but it's persisted. And then I have sinus stuff going on that, again, like it'll start to clear up and then it comes back, and it's just that time of the year, and it's an awful time of the year for anyone that has a chronic illness, especially an autoimmune disease where your immune system is already compromised. And then a lot of the times when you have an autoimmune disease, they give you medication to suppress your immune system because it's your immune system that is attacking your own body And they obviously don't want it doing that because it can cause all kinds of medical issues and organ damage and all kinds of fun stuff. So they give you medications to suppress your immune system, which makes your immune system even more compromised, and you can catch things so easily. And you are not allowed to take anything like Cold FX or any of those like medications that can like boost your immune system during the winter, because if you boost your immune system, then you're counteracting the medications you're taking to stop your immune system from attacking you. So I have like, I have nothing that I can do really to keep myself from getting sick in the winter, other than just like constantly washing my hands and trying to stay away from anyone that's sick. But when you travel public transit to and from work, to and from doctor's appointments, and you have doctor's appointments that are in hospitals, you're bound to pick up something. So that's why I haven't been able to sing, because my throat has been sore and singing makes it worse. So I just haven't even bothered with that. Second is that I've just really been busy. There's just been a lot going on with family get-togethers and me trying to get my to-do list done of decluttering and organizing and getting ready for getting my Christmas decorations up. And then after I get my decorations up, it's like got to get the Christmas shopping done, get Christmas gifts wrapped. I mean, it's just crazy. And then on top of that, with my job, I have to plan out a month's worth of activities in advance. And so there's that, and then there's the prep time for those activities, whether it be printing stuff off of my computer or printing stuff and laminating stuff or gathering craft supplies. Like, there's always something that has to be done for work. So there's that. On top of it, my health has not been good. I don't want to get into like a big discussion on this whole topic, because I don't want this video to be massively long, and I plan to make a separate video at some point where I like talk in depth about these things. But the one thing that like you never really think about when you're healthy is like people that have chronic illness, until you have a chronic illness yourself. The best way I can put it is, you know, people that are healthy, that don't have any illness or disease or chronic illness or whatever. I can remember the time when I was healthy, before I had lupus and all that stuff. And there's not many people that I know that are healthy that have never played hooky from school or work. You know, like when you're a kid, you learn how to pretend to be sick, so you can stay home from school sometimes. Especially me, I know when I was a kid, I tried to pretend to be sick a lot to stay home from school in elementary school between kindergarten and grade 4, and that was mainly because I was being bullied like every single day at school. So it got to the point where like I actually sometimes did feel sick to my stomach at the thought of going to school, because I didn't want to be bullied. So I learned how to play sick so I could stay home sometimes. And then, you know, a lot of people as adults will play hooky from work. They'll call in sick and take a day off to just like chill. And I did that sometimes when I was healthy. I probably only played hooky from work maybe like once or twice in my adulthood when I was healthy. but also like a lot of times when I was healthy, like the slightest little cold or the slightest little headache, I would call in sick for. And now that I have chronic illness, like a simple little headache, or unless my cold is like super, super bad, I will not call in sick for those things anymore. I will, because once you have a chronic illness, it sounds really bad, but you become kind of used to or accustomed to feeling some version of sick or some level of crap every single day. And I'm not joking. Like, I know a lot of you guys have said, like, you see me on camera and I seem like to look good, healthy. I seem to be happy. I seem to be positive. Come here, buddy. Hi. But that's just part of it. Like, part of being chronically ill, unfortunately, is that you now learn the opposite. You learn how to fake being well. You actually learn to fake being okay. And a lot of days I'll go to work and I'll smile and seem happy and seem okay, but I really feel like screaming and crying, or I feel like I'm going to be sick, or I will be in pain, or I will feel incredibly nauseous or extremely exhausted. And because I've now been pretty much forced by my health to only work part-time. So right now, I used to work 3 days a week, but right now they only need me at my job 2 days a week. I'm hoping that's going to change in the new year and go back up to 3. But because like it's only 2 days a week and I need that money, unless I'm having like an extremely bad day, I will not call in sick. So when I call in sick, you know it's bad. But I feel some level of sick every single day of my life. And, you know, like I would say for the first 2 years after I was diagnosed with lupus, I was pretty much depressed and had like, I just had no life because I was working myself to death. And I had no quality of life. So I would work and I would come home and I couldn't do anything at home because I was in so much pain, so fatigued from working full time that I just like had no quality of life to enjoy my times, you know, my weekends, my evenings. Like I couldn't do anything. And so I was really, really depressed. For, I would say, the first 2 years after being diagnosed, and pretty negative. And I mean, like, if you want to go back and watch those vlogs I did for the first 2 years after my diagnosis, you'll see the difference. You'll see how depressed I was. And, you know, eventually I realized that I can't go on living my life because this is an illness I'm going to have for the rest of my life. And I was like, I cannot live the rest of my life feeling depressed like this. I can't. And so my first step to wellness for my body and my mental health was quitting working full time. It was a hard decision to make because I did like where I was working at the time. And I was working in a daycare at the time I decided to quit. I worked there for 9 months. I was sick as a dog the whole 9 months because daycares are a petri dish for germs, and I caught every single thing going around, and I'm not even kidding. Like, I had cold after cold, flu after flu. I was nonstop sick as a dog for the whole 9 months I was there, and I was like, I can't live like this. Like, this is ridiculous. And when you're already chronically ill and you catch a cold or flu, it hits you 10 times worse than a regular person that doesn't have a chronic illness. And it's just like, you know, you already feel fatigued every single day of your life. And then you get hit with like a cold or a flu, and it just makes it that much worse. And you just like can't even, like, you don't even want to get out of bed. So I quit. I found a part-time nanny job, and I've been working part-time as a nanny ever since. I've been with various families. This is probably the family I've been with the longest now, because Margaret was about 15 months old when I started looking after her, and she is now 5, and her little sister Annie is now 2.5. So, or going on 2.5. So I've been with them probably the longest out of any family I've been a nanny for. And as soon as I started working part-time, I immediately had like my health drastically improved. And that gave me the boost, and like, then from that point on, I tried to do my best to stay positive and just try to take care of myself as best as I could, so that I'm as healthy as I can be. But at that time I was working 5 days a week, but it was like from 9 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and that was it. So 4 hours a day. And that seemed to work really, really well for me at that time. But I don't know, the last year or two, I would say, my health has been like steadily declining. And, you know, now I'm having like lung damage from the lupus attacking my lungs and stuff. So anyways, basically, I've been struggling with my breathing a lot. I'm still on my steroid inhaler. The one positive thing I have to say is it seems like my colitis is in remission, finally. I am off of the steroid medication I was taking for that, but I'm still on a steroid inhaler, so I just got to get off that one more steroid somehow. I don't know how, but because I hate steroids. I mean, they do wonders, but they also have a lot of side effects that I hate. So that's one good thing. But ever since September, I have now been developing chronic styes. And I don't really have any right now, but I did have some a couple of days ago. But my eyelids, the bottom ones, sometimes the top ones, will get really red and irritated, and they'll get like styes, which I don't know if you guys know what a sty is, but it's like, it's almost like a little pimple in a way, but a little bit different than a pimple. It's like a blocked hair follicle, I believe they say. Like one of your eyelash follicles gets like blocked and plugged up. So the first bout I had with it was really, really bad. I had to get an oral antibiotic and an eye drop antibiotic, and this eye was almost swollen completely shut. So for days, my eyes, like, actually for like almost a full week, my eyes were just like intensely burning. So my eye doctor says it's most likely caused from my dry eyes that I've been suffering with a long time. So I now have to clean my eyelids like literally like daily, and also use like warm compress at least a few times a week. I'm making sure to use my lubricating eye drops every day, but even with all of that I'm doing right, I'm still getting styes, at least a few a week. And it's getting really frustrating. And I went to the lupus clinic last week. Was it last week? No, not last week, the week before. And I told them about it, and they didn't really seem concerned. They just like kind of brushed it off. And I was a little irritated with that, because it's like, it's been really bad this past week again, where my eyes have been just like burning constantly. And I keep putting the eye drops in, and they're not really doing anything. So I was kind of frustrated. They just like didn't really have an answer for me. But it's irritating because like I have told them before about all my symptoms, like dry eye and the irritated eyelashes and the dry mouth and dry skin and all this stuff, which are all symptoms of Sjogren's syndrome, which a lot of lupus patients get. And, you know, only one doctor so far has mentioned, oh, like there could be a possibility of Sjogren's, but they've never really like investigated it to see if it is. And so I'm really annoyed by that, because my eyes are just constantly burning and I want to keep them closed a lot of the time. And it's like, sometimes like it's hard to like push through and like function. So there was that, and I am seeing them again in January. So I am going to really like get on them about it in January to like figure out what the heck is going on. So I've been dealing with that. And oh my goodness, like last week, the fatigue was like so bad. I haven't had fatigue like that in a really long time. It was like I just could not function at all last week. At all. It was bad. The Sunday night, I barely slept. I don't know why. I just could not sleep. I think I maybe slept a total of an hour to an hour and a half, and that was it. And so Monday, I was just like exhausted. And then Monday night, you know, I was starting to get ready for bed. And, oh, I know, sorry, Monday. So Monday morning, I was in the middle of doing up the calendar of activities for work for November. Because the first week of November, I had off because Margaret's, the two little girls I look after, them and their parents and some other family members were going on a trip to Mexico. So I got a nice paid vacation that week because it's part of my contract with them that, like, if they don't need me, you know, if they're going on a vacation and they don't need me that week because it's not my choice to take those days off, I still get paid. So that was nice. I got that week off, and that was the week that I really got a lot done around the house, with organizing and things like that, and doing some painting on the doll kit I'm working on, and things like that. So that week, you know, I had planned to make a lot of videos that week as well, but I didn't really get around to doing videos because I was just like so busy at getting stuff done around the apartment. But yeah, so the Monday I was like in the middle of doing the calendar, and my mom calls at the last minute and was like wondering if I wanted to go see A Star Is Born with her, and I've been wanting to see that movie. And I kind of like and hawed about it at first because I was so exhausted. Like, I had originally planned after doing my calendar, I was going to go take a nap. Like, I was just so exhausted from barely sleeping the night before. And I also like didn't feel so good. My stomach was kind of nauseous and stuff. And I was like, I don't know. But I was like, I really want to see this movie before it leaves the theater. So I like pulled myself together. I finished my calendar. I had a quick shower and headed out and met my mom, and we saw the movie. And guys, A Star Is Born was amazing. Oh my gosh. Bradley Cooper, I didn't know he could sing like that, first off, but for his directorial debut, like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. The chemistry between him and Lady Gaga was amazing. The acting was so real and raw, and like the emotions, and the music was amazing. Lady Gaga did a fantastic job. Like, I think she should win an Oscar. So definitely go see it if you haven't, because it is amazing. So I did that. I came home, And while I was out with my mom, she was telling me she had talked to my grandma that morning, and that my grandma said she wasn't feeling very well. And she goes through these periods, my grandma, where like she doesn't feel well for a few days, like just is really tired and kind of like blah. And she'll stay in her apartment for like a few days and not even like go down to the cafeteria to eat and stuff. So my mom was telling me she wasn't feeling that well and this and that. And so anyways, I'm in the evening here getting ready to get stuff together for work the next day. And I found out that my grandma was being taken to the hospital. This was about 11 o'clock at night. She was being taken to the hospital because she was having a lot of trouble breathing. She had a fever all day. The doctor said he didn't like the sound of her lungs, so he was sending an ambulance to get her and take her to the hospital. My uncle was going to drive there to be with her in the ER, but my uncle lives 2 hours away. Well, not really 2 hours away. I think it's like an hour and a half drive, but sometimes depending on traffic, it's like 2 hours. So his plan was to go there, stay with her for however long she's in the ER until she gets settled. Then he was going to go home, sleep for a bit, and then drive all the way back to be with her. So after I got off the phone with my mom about that, I was telling Alex about it, and he kind of had the exact same thought that I did, and that is that our new couch that we got 2 years ago now from my grandmother has a pull-out bed. And we both kind of looked at each other like, that's kind of crazy that he's driving all that way and then he's going to go all that way back just to sleep for a few hours and then come all the way back again. Like, it seems silly. So the two of us together agreed we should offer for my uncle to come and sleep here instead. So I immediately called him, but he was already on the road heading there, but he was able to answer the phone because he's got one of those systems in his car that he can do like the hands-free phone thing. And so anyways, we offered for him to come and stay here, and he was like, oh yes, like he's like, yeah, thank you so much. So he's like, I have no idea how long I'll be with her before I come over to sleep. He's like, what time do you guys get up in the morning? What time do you guys head for work? So we discussed all of that. And then I said, but you know, if you end up wanting to come here before we get up for work, like, don't worry about it. Just like give me a call and we'll let you in. We already have the bed set up for you and everything. And so he's like, okay. So got ready to go to bed and everything like that. I took a sleeping pill because I usually take my sleeping pill on Monday night and Tuesday night so that I'm well rested for work. But despite taking a sleeping pill, I did not sleep. Again, I probably slept maybe like 1 to 2 hours at most because my mind was worried about my grandma. My mind was like, oh, I wonder when my uncle's going to show up. Like, I don't want to miss his phone call. Like, my mind was just like all over the place and I couldn't sleep. So I ended up eventually getting up at like 5:36. I usually get up at 6:30. I got up at 6 and called into work. I called in sick because I had 2 nights in a row where like I barely slept and I could barely, like, my eyes were just like burning again. They were all irritated again. I felt really nauseous and dizzy, and I was so tired, just like so exhausted. I'm like, there is no way I can function looking after 2 kids right now, like the way I'm feeling. So called in sick, and my uncle ended up getting here around, I think it was like 7 a.m. So he got here at 7, and we said, you know, if you want anything to eat, there's cereal here. We kind of left stuff out for him to eat. And he got ready, and we gave him a pair of pajamas, Alex's pajamas, And so anyways, I went back to bed to try to sleep. He went to sleep here on the pullout. Alex was just kind of in the office until he had to leave for work. And I did get some sleep. I managed to sleep till maybe around, I think I maybe got up around 12 to get something to eat for lunch and that. But it was like, for me, I was sleeping like on and off. My uncle, I think, maybe got 2 hours asleep, and if even that, and then he ended up getting up. I heard him out here like getting up and eating some cereal, and then I never heard him leave. So I thought he was still here, and then all of a sudden I got a phone call from him saying, I left my wallet at your place, I'm heading back there to get it. So I was like, oh, okay. So gave him the wallet, and so he didn't get much sleep that day or night either. And then he was with my grandma the whole day till she got a room. So I'll fill you in more on my grandma later, but yeah. So then Wednesday I did go to work, but I felt horrible the whole day at work. I felt really nauseous again. I kept taking Zofran, which finally now I have a prescription for Zofran. The lupus clinic finally gave me that because Gravol just wasn't cutting it anymore when I get these nauseous bouts. So I finally have Zofran for that. So I took some before I went to work, and I took some, I can take it 3 times a day, so I took some with me to work in case I needed it there. Managed to get through the day, thankfully. And actually, Alex decided to take that day off. So he was able to pick me up from work, which is great because I really wasn't feeling like commuting home on the bus. Like, I was feeling so sick. I had a major headache, my eyes, everything. So came home, chilled out. And then, of course, Thursday and Friday, I usually don't work, but I'm not even kidding. I slept half of Thursday away in bed. Friday, I pretty much slept the entire day in bed. Like, I didn't get up until about 5 p.m. I was that exhausted. Like, the fatigue, it was so bad. Like, I think at one point on the Friday, I got up at around 12 to get some lunch. And I was determined, like, I was going to stay up and get some stuff done that I wanted to get done during the apartment. But after I ate my lunch, I was just sitting here watching like a program on TV, and I started to fall asleep. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to do I turned off the TV. I started to like do what I wanted to do. And I got maybe like 5 minutes in, and I literally felt like I was going to collapse to the floor. Like, the fatigue was the worst I've ever had in my life. I was like, I can't do this. I just can't do this. So I just went to bed, and I slept till like 5. And so that was my Thursday and Friday. It was like complete waste of the days, in my opinion. I was so frustrated, but I needed the sleep, obviously. So I just listened to my body and was like, let's do this. Saturday, we went to take Riley to the vets, and then we did that in the morning to get his follow-up blood work to check his kidneys. So we're waiting for those blood work results. In the meantime, they also gave him a shot for nausea as well as some tablets for nausea to send home with him because he's been throwing up a lot. The vet said like the norm for cats with hairballs is like 1 to 2 times a month, I believe, but no more than that. And he's been throwing up sometimes every day or like every second to third day. And so she's not sure if it's the medication or the new food that's not agreeing with him, because those are the only two things that are different. And we had been keeping track in a book every time he would throw up and what he was throwing up. So she's like, okay, hopefully this will help. And in the meantime, they decided, instead of testing just for the kidneys, they decided they wanted to do a full body workup again. So it was a little bit of a bigger vet bill than we expected, but it's okay because we just want to make sure he's okay. So, but I mean, like, she felt his stomach and everything, and she didn't feel anything in his stomach. Everything seemed normal, so she's not really sure. He has lost a pound, though, which she's not too thrilled about. I don't know if that's from the change of his food, because, like, remember a few years back where his old vet thought he had, like, a cancerous tumor, and then, like, a year later, she couldn't feel it anymore and he was fine? Well, when she first found that supposed tumor, he had lost, like, he had gone down to 7 pounds, and she didn't like that. So at the time, we had switched to Blue Buffalo food that was, like, a higher calorie content, and he gained weight on it, and obviously he didn't have a tumor, or if he did, the change in food reversed it, because we went with the low carb, but high calories. So I'm wondering if this new food, because it's a kidney support food, so it's got to be low protein, I'm wondering if it's also lower calories than the other food, and that might be why he's losing. But she just wanted to make sure. And now she's also asked us to measure his food, because we've always just filled his bowl, and it'll usually last about 2 or 3 days maybe before we have to refill it. And so she's like, she goes, so you don't really know exactly how much he's eating every day? Because she said he should be eating about a cup of food a day. And I'm like, I don't know if he is eating a cup. So she's asked us to measure it now. Well, the first day we measured it, he only ate about a I don't know, like, not even a half a cup of food, actually. I think it was like a 1/4 cup of food, maybe a 1/3 cup of food. That's it. Like, that's all he ate. But we were talking to each other, and we're like, I think that's been his normal, though. Because, like, from the time we got him, which was back in 2008, he's always eaten that way. Like, we've never, like, we fill up his bowl. He just comes and goes as he wants to eat. And we just refill it every 2 to 3 days. And it's always been that way. So we're going to make sure to tell her that, like, I don't think this is anything new. Like, this is what he's always eaten. He's, I guess, never been a huge eater. I don't know. So we're just waiting to hear back on the blood work results. But, I mean, he still seems fine, other than the throwing up. But he seems normal otherwise. He still runs around and plays and does all that. So, then from there, we came home. We dropped him off. And we went and visited my grandma at the hospital. So, yeah. So this video is getting kind of long now. I knew it was going to be long, but I don't want to make it much longer. So I'm going to talk more about what's going on with my grandma in the next video that I do, which hopefully will be soon. That was that. And then Sunday, we spent the whole day at my half-sister's with her and her husband and her kids. It was my niece's birthday this past week. I can't believe it. She's 11. So we went to give her her gift and just visit with them, because we haven't seen them in months. Unfortunately, we don't see them all that much, but I'm hoping to, like, change that in the new year, because I would like to see them more often. And yeah, so it's just been a combination of me being super fatigued, battling this cold, battling these eye issues, and being busy with family and life. And it's just been really, really difficult to find time to make videos. So there you have it. That's what's going on in a super long video. I'm sorry this is long, but whatever. So now I'm going to go, because I hear that the dryer's done, I'm going to go get my rags, fold them, put them away, and let's get some Christmas going in here. I was really not feeling in the Christmas spirit when I heard about my grandma being in the hospital. And Friday, it was not sounding so good for her. And after I saw her, I was like, she doesn't look so good. And I was just like really upset and down in the dumps about that and my health. And I also found out that my other uncle, which is, he lives like 6 hours from us, 7 hours from us. He's also not doing well health-wise. So I was just like really upset on Saturday and not in a good frame of mind. And I was like, I don't know if I really feel like putting up Christmas decorations right now. But yesterday was the Santa Claus parade here in Toronto, which basically signals the start of the Christmas season for us. So I had made a goal that this year I was going to get the decorations up right after the Santa Claus parade, or the weekend of the Santa Claus parade, and it's now the day after the Santa Claus parade. So today will be decorations, and then Thursday I'm hoping will be the tree, and then I'll be done, and then I'll get into Christmas shopping and Christmas wrapping. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that once I get some of the decorations up, I'm going to put on some Christmas music while I'm putting them up, and hopefully I can get into the Christmas spirit a little bit, because I've always been, if you've watched my videos before, you know I'm like a huge Christmas fanatic. I'm big into the Christmas spirit. I love Christmas. But this year, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it right now with everything going on. But I'm hoping getting some music on, getting some decorations will help. But anyways, oh, before I sign off, I had to tell you. When we put out the pull-up bed, oh my gosh. Riley was sleeping over here when we pulled out the pull-out couch. The look on his face had me laughing so much, because this is the first time we've ever pulled out the pull-out bed. I was like calling Alex over. I'm like, honey, look at his face. I'm like, you can almost read his mind. It's almost like, what the hell just happened to our couch? And it was so funny. And then once we got the bed all made up and everything, he started going like underneath it, sniffing around, exploring. And eventually, when we decided to go to bed, he was sitting on the bed, and I'm like, yeah, he's gonna sleep there, because he's probably like, yes, a whole bed for me. So that was really funny, and I don't know if we got video of it, but if we did, I'll like do like a little Radical Riley episode with it, because it was hilarious. But anyways, guys, I've caught my breath sitting. I'm gonna go do some folding of laundry and get Christmas happening here. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your concerns and all that. And to those that saw the community post I put up about my grandma, thank you for all of your thoughts and prayers. And I just hope soon I can get back into the groove of making videos on a more consistent basis. But right now, things are just all over the place. So I'm hoping like once December hits, and things have settled down a little, and I'm just mainly focused on like Christmas shopping and wrapping gifts and that, and things have like slowed down a little, I can get back to like doing some fun videos for you guys. So stay tuned. Hopefully later this week I'll have another video for you guys. I have a really awesome announcement to make about a new upcoming doll show in Ontario, Canada, that I'm going to be helping to get the word out about. So stay tuned for that. I had wanted to put that video out last week, but it was just like, I was not well. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye!